You are a woman that is so successful, powerful, driven, have an incredible love in your heart, and you wake up with dread. You dread Monday morning, you pray for Friday, you feel shackled to the corporate journey or the business that you've created. It was one time the very thing that got you out of bed, and now it's the thing that literally keeps you shackled in your bed in the morning before you get up in the day, considering every reason why you maybe don't have to go into work, why you maybe don't have to show up to your business. And if any of that relates for you, then hi, my name is Jen, founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness, transformational purpose coach and expert. And what I do is work with women just like you. I was you at 40. This was my journey. And it's exactly what prompted me to be sitting before you today with this heart full of passion for supporting people to live into their purpose. And so what I do is I work with women and we get you clear on where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and we really reconnect the notion of success and purpose together versus it being one or the other. And the women that really show up for me are the women that are in places in their lives where they're like, I'm in this place, I've been successful, I know I've got a purpose. I might not exactly know exactly what it is, but I know there's something important. I know I want to leave a legacy. I want to create impact. I want to create a better world. And I'm just stuck in how to make a lane change. And sometimes that means we can do it right where you are. And sometimes it means that we need to switch gears altogether. A lot of the women that find me are looking to go elsewhere, but that doesn't mean that's how it has to be. And so today, what I really want to talk about is emerging into abundance. And I'm going to talk about how this relates to purpose. So roll with me for a few minutes because it's going to be a conversation as we go and laying out the information and kind of the way that I want you to think about it. I would also recommend if you've got a pen and paper handy, you're going to be glad if you take notes while we're chatting today. So in my office in therapy for over 21 years now, it's been, as a clinical social worker, I worked in private psychotherapy for most of those years. And what we do, right, why purpose is my shtick is because I was supporting people making meaning. And that's what I truly believe much of our lives are about. It's about connection, number one, first and foremost. And two, it's creating meaning for the things that are happening around us, to us, for us. And so what I love is taking that meaning and tapping into that in unique and different ways to continue to help you grow on that path to purpose. So this month I've been talking about emerge, right? This idea that we can grow, we can expand. It's the season of spring. It's a great time to do these kinds of things. And I wanted to share a really personal story from yesterday that happened to me, which is just super beautiful. So I'm going to back up a minute to share something I've been doing with you so you kind of have the backstory. So about 10 days ago, 11 days ago, I started doing an abundance journey and I started really focusing in my energy on abundance. And I had some ideas about what that meant, and we're going to get there as well in a minute, right? So I would invite you first and foremost, as you're joining me today, is consider what abundance means to you. You can drop it in the comments. I would love that. What does abundance look and feel like to you? Okay. Your initial response when I say abundance. So I started this journey of really focused intention, really focused energy and meditation in abundance for myself and others. And I knew it was going to be a game changer. I knew it was going to be a game changer. And I wasn't expecting how it showed up and how it's been showing up. And that's really what I wanted to share about today. My vlog this week, if you go back and catch it, which is everywhere. So I'm on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and blah, 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 blah. But if you go in and find it, it's always on my website. So if you ever just want to skip through all the tirade and go to my website, I have all my videos there. But I did a really beautiful rise up out of the, pond as a lotus and you're coming to the sunshine. So this is really lovely, little meditations. If you want to grab that, go get it. So today was going to be rise into the light. Well, this is how we're going to do it today. And so, okay, so abundance journey, I digress. Abundance journey. Yesterday, I engage in energy healing all the time. It's a steady practice of mine, not just to give, but to receive. And I'm sitting in this session with someone that I truly adore. And I just think she does magical, magical work. So drop in the comments for me. What does abundance mean? Don't be shy. Yo, I see all in here. Thank you for joining me. Right? What does abundance mean to you? The initial, don't lose sleep over it. Be willing to be a little vulnerable. What does abundance mean to you? Okay. So I do this session with her and we're done. And it was a toughie. It was a toughie. I was really digging back into some of my old history, which is painful. And I was poking a stick at it because I knew that some things were kind of coming forward for me and I needed to be able to, do my work in that space. And so I was done. I was tired because it was like, whew, like, I just ran a marathon. Whew, yeah, yikes, right? It was like just kind of heavy lifting and heavy work, but also needed to be done and clearing and making space. And if I want to provide good care, I have to take good care of myself, right? That's really an intentional journey of mine as a coach. So I get done and my friend says, well, I have something I'm supposed to talk to you about, but I just know what you're going to say. I'm like, okay, like, all right. It was kind of weird. And she was kind of uncomfortable. And I was like, what is happening right now? And did I do something wrong? And so she goes, well, I just know how you're going to feel about it. And I talked myself out of it. And then I talked myself back into it, but Spirit wants me to offer this to you. I was like, okay. So I, put my seatbelt on. This is what I do when I'm in uncomfortable minutes. And I'm like, okay, I got it. All right, lay it on me. And she says, I'd like to offer you a 6-month free package. And I want you to pause a minute and I want you to think for yourself, when in your life have you been granted or given a really generous gift? And what did the process look like? I want you to really imagine, what did the process look like? When I went into something and someone standing before me and they're giving me this incredible gift, what's my response? And what's so great is she already said, I know what you're going to say. I know the 100 things you're going to say to me. And so, right. So the first thing that she says is, I know what it means. Her work is invaluable. Okay. Her coaching, invaluable. And I'm like, go, I just, and I have to stop. And I stop and I sit there. And the little voice inside my head, okay, and I want you to go with me here. Go with me here. Someone says, I'm going to gift you this really big thing. And the voice inside your head says, what? What does it say? Put in the comments. What is the voice inside your head when someone says to you, I'm going to give you this really incredible gift? Here you go. What is the voice inside your head? What does the ego tell you? That's too much. That's too generous. How will I pay this back? Right? All the little things are rolling, all the little things. And I'm like, oh my God. Right. And and then I go, no, no to that voice. Damn it. I have been working and working and working on showing up in a state of abundance. So I stop and I pause and all the thoughts are, starting. They're starting. She knew it. She called me out. She totally knew it was so great. She knew what I was going to say, right? Hey, sister. She knew it. She knew what I was going to say. And how will I repay you? Exactly, right? Thank you, Angel. Right. How am I ever going to repay this shit? Okay. But I say no. And I stop and I say to her, I go, so I say, I'm like silent. She probably was like, what is happening? Like is she having a stroke? Is she like, okay. Cause I'm never speechless. Okay. And I was like, that's very generous. Thank you. And she's sitting there and she goes, is that a yes? And I said, yes. And she said, what? You should have seen her response to my saying yes to her giving me a gift, which, right, sounds like every kind of weird, her response, you 5 stars. I thought you were going to give me every single reason why this was not going to be an okay thing. And you were going to have to nicely pass. And she nailed it. She knew in my state of lack, I would have said, that's so nice. No, thank you. That's too much. And who says that? I want you to lean into this for a minute with me, okay? Okay, I want to go back. Hold on. Who says that? Who says it's too much? I want to go back and read here. My apologies. I just banged this. Angel said, there are endless opportunities and possibilities. I have all that I need and desire. Yes. And then I know Sue said having everything I need and not feeling empty because I need more. Yes. So they were talking about abundance. Tell me what's going on. Okay, YouTube and Facebook, y'all, I see you out there. What's abundance mean to you? My Instagram followers right now are kicking your heinies. And if this was a loving competition, come on, bring it. What's abundance mean to you? So thank you for answering, ladies. I really appreciate that. So, right. So who says that? Who says it's too much? We do. And so I say to her, I go, and I start to laugh. I go, well, in the last 11 days, 10 days, I've been working on pure abundance work in my manifestation, my meditation, and my prayer journey. And she starts laughing. I literally go, so if I look at you and say, I'm literally talking out loud. I go, if I look at you and say, no, I just turned off the freaking spigot. She's like, absolutely. If I ask for it, and I want you to think about this, I ask for it, I go out to the universe and in my meditation and in my time, in my prayers, and I'm asking for all this abundance for all the people around me to come flowing in. And I'm like, yes, please. And I go, no, thanks. Ego, big time, right? The ego gets in the way. And so if I say no, thanks, but I asked for it, what? Right? That makes no sense. So if I'm working with a coaching client and I'm selling them my journey that I work with them in their purpose and I go, yeah, thank you. And that's an exchange. And I take it and I go with it. Why is it different when someone wants to be generous? What makes me think I don't deserve that? And not just me, friends. I mean, this is me being vulnerable because the worthiness sneaks in. Has anybody got worthiness that sneaks in? That's what the abundance comes in. And then you go, go. Do I really deserve that? I mean, that's a big thing, what she offered me. I know what it costs. I know what it costs her. Okay. And gulp, big old swallow. And I say yes. And she has this party. And then I cry. I mean, literally. And I think about how I had a really narrow window of what abundance was. And before I started it, I think I thought abundance looked like great stuff, all the things, right? A flow of energy, an exchange of energy, and gratitude. And I think I also thought narrowly, like, well, it's money. Money, abundance is, it's not just money. I get that. So when I started my journey where I was and where I landed were kind of different things, and I wanted to share my story. So it was hard. And I said yes, because that's what you do. And I wanted to walk through what that feels like, because the journey and the story shows up for each of us. And we go, I don't know if this is for me, or, why would someone do something so generous for me? Why would someone extend themselves in a way that's so generous for me? And from her story and her experience, it was that she was guided divinely to offer it to me. And she's like, I don't ask anymore. She's like, I'm tired of fighting with my spirit guides. So I was like, she's not going to accept it. She's like having this argument. And she's like, it's not my job. I have to just trust and roll with this. And I was told to give this to you. And another friend this year got me a ticket to a convention, a seminar. And she was like, I just know I'm being guided to do this. And I was like, and I did too much. I need time to sit with this. I don't know if I can receive this. Like I literally, and I finally said, okay, there has to be a reason you're guided to this. Who am I to ask the question? And who says it's not worthy? Who says not for you? Who says not for me? Right? Okay. And so I really want us to step into this idea around how we show up when abundance is flowing. And one of the first things that's likely to get in our way is worthy. And here's what's great. I want to be super clear. Thank you so much, Angel. You're so sweet. Thanks for being so vulnerable. I used to not be this way. I would not let you see me sweat. I'll be real honest. I was like, I don't need people to see me cry. I don't want people to see me as weak. That was a big deal for me. And so when I let loose now, I let it loose. I'm like, you know what? If the tears start flowing, and here they are. Take it for what it is. And thank you so much, Angel, for sitting with that and receiving that vulnerability. That's definitely how I want to show up. And So I want you to imagine that one of the first things we can do is turn off the spigot of abundance by lacking, by a sense of unworthiness. And so if I want to go out in the world, and I was just reading something yesterday that talked about how little we actually ask for what we really want. I need to really think about this. I mean, this is kind of a mind blower for me. I don't know why. We tend to like, I would like good things. I would like, I don't know, like I would like good things in my life. Well, okay, but what? And I would really like to have X amount of things. I'd like to have X amount of clients, or I'd like to have X amount of vacations in a year. I would like to have these kinds of people. I've done so much work around that, and I manifested the hell out of that, which is really incredible, right? But like, we are vague. We have to be so clear about what we want. So if I send out in the universe, I'm asking for abundance, and someone comes in and says, here's some is, and I go, oh no, thank you. What happens to the abundance? Right? Think about this. The expansion, the beauty, the joy, all the things that I'm asking for that are related to infinite abundance and prosperity get dried up. Because I'm saying one thing. Oh, in meditation, please, provide for my family, my husband, bless my daughter, bless my community, bless my friend who's going through something. And then I'm manifesting for my own self, my own abundance, bring abundance in that I can go out and serve. The more abundance I bring in, the more I dole it out, right? So, okay, so I'm doing all of that, but then I go, well, maybe not. Or I say, I just want abundance, right? Like, what does that mean? And so if we're vague, the only response we can ever receive is vague. Does that make sense? If you go to a job interview and they say, tell us what qualities or assets you would bring to this job, and you go, I'm a good person. They're gonna be like, thanks, bitch, bye. Okay? Because what they want to hear you say is, I'm super productive. I'm driven. I get the job done. I persevere. I will step in and do hard things. I'm not afraid of being brave. They want to hear you say exactly who you are and what you bring, right? Okay. So if we go to the world and we go, can I have some things, please? Right? Okay. When I was doing manifesting abundance, friends, did I go, I really hope that my friend will offer me a healing package? No. It was not on my list. Spirituality was. I didn't ask for that. But if it flows in and I go, oh, no, thanks, that is abundance coming in. You have to literally be willing to, one, be so specific and ask, and then also, by all means, by the love of all that's effing holy, have your eyes open when it shows up. The last thing you want to do is go blink on your spigot of abundance and goodness. Whatever form it takes, you got to show up. Okay, so now we said abundance is infinity, ever present well. Yes, but I do deserve it. That's so big. You deserve it. I deserve it. You deserve it. Who said we didn't? We did. Sorry, this is a come to Jesus. The only person saying you don't deserve abundance is you. You are your worst enemy. And I tell you what, I throw people off because people see me, they meet me, they know me, my friends, they love me, that I'm blessed to know. And they're like, you're confident. I am confident. And still, and I could sit and tell you all the good things that I can do. I can say that. I could sell myself, meet you, nice to meet you. This is Coach Jen. This is what I do. This is what I bring, right? And I like, and silly and play that. And that's all true. And that's great. And still, by the love of all that's holy, if you sit in front of me and tell me that you don't sometimes have that trigger of not being worthy, then you're lying, not just to me, but to you. It is a human experience to have that pause where we go, okay. And also, and I don't want to say this and be super sexist, but it's also a female dominant trait. We go, we do. Sorry, facts. Okay. All right. Taylor said, this isn't something I've ever actively thought about, but I can see this in myself. Thank you for sharing. Of course, happy to do it. That's what I want to do is I want to get your mind thinking about this, right? So, okay. So we're going to do a little exercise. You ready? Get your pen and paper. Get your pen and paper. I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. When I show up, what I share with you very often is the very journey that I'm on or things that I'm working in. So I have news for you. I've been to therapy. I've been to coaching. I do all the things. So there is nothing I'm going to show up as a coach and ask you to do or offer you up that I don't also work in. Does it mean I do it perfectly? Not at all. Does it mean that even yesterday, in all of the work and all the effort and all the growth that I've done as a human being and as a soul, that still the little voice doesn't get me sometimes? It can. And the difference, my friends, isn't that it's eradicating it from beginning to end. It's the seeing of it. When that voice comes in and I go, no, I'm not listening to the ego. I'm not listening to that little dance in my head that I've done for 47 effing years. I'm done with her. That self, that ego self has got to go. I'm being granted a beautiful gift, and my answer is yes, please, and thank you. Natalie granted me an incredible gift this last year. Yes, please, and thank you. And that shit's hard. That shit's hard because you want to just be like, oh, I just say yes. Oh, you just say yes, and you got all the feels about it. It's not beginning to end easy to do these things. And that's why I like talking about them. I want you to grow outside of where you think you are and where you're stuck being. I want you to emerge into something different. So with your pad and paper, here's what I want you to do. Ready? And this is very fancy. So ready? Very technical. Draw yourself this. It looks like short goalposts. And on one side, I can't do this backwards, is scarcity. On the other, abundance. Scarcity, abundance. Scarcity, abundance. Go ahead and do it now. You can come back and do it later. Okay. And then what I want you to do, scarcity on one end, abundance on another, is I want you to do yourself a solid, and I want you to take your little pen or pencil, whatever you got with you, and I want you to mark on that line where you think you are right now. Now, pause a sec, come back with me. Do not judge yourself. There is no space for that bullshit. Do not judge yourself. Go in, do this activity, free and clear of any judgment. This is about growing awareness. So we're going to bring our self-compassion. It's not about judging yourself. Where am I on this continuum in this very minute? Go ahead and mark that down. No judgment. Okay. So now I have the next exercise. Okay. What I want you to do is sit down. You can do it in a minute. You don't have to do it now. And I want you to invite in awareness about how abundance is showing up for you. So early on when I started, and I was telling you about my journey, and I said, when I started abundance work, this really specific work, laser focus driven work, I thought financial so that I can, and that's very true. I want to call in all sorts of financial abundance because I got big things to do financially for others. So I have big vision for what I want to do with that money. So I'm calling it in because I want to dole it out. That's kind of the exchange of energy. And so what happened was, because I think I was so focused there, I kind of got stuck in it. Like, okay, it's going to look like that. And then when this grand thing happened yesterday, I sat down this morning in my journal, did my meditation, came out of my meditation, journaled, still reeling from yesterday. Also noticed that one of my coaching clients sent me a little sweet gift of tea. And so what I did was I began to work backwards. And, so started writing out, that was so sweet. So my friend yesterday that offered me this package, gift of healing. And then my coaching client, gift of love and connection. Gift from Natalie, gift of connection. And what I do is I start going backwards and I start writing out. My sister and my brother-in-law are giving us the gift of using their resort, not a timeshare, but like a timeshare. This summer, we're getting to take my daughter on this incredible vacation to celebrate her graduation, in part in this very, very fancy place, because my sister and my brother-in-law are generous enough to say, you can use this timeshare. Gift of time with family. I start not just going, right? So I want you to really think about this a minute, right? Most of us were like, do a gratitude journal. Okay, I'm not dissing on anybody. I'm just saying, but I've been there, grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, right? You feel me, right? And like we know it, but it gets rote, kind of, right? Like I know, yes, I have a house over my head. I'm grateful for these things, by the way. Grateful for clean water, grateful for food I get to eat. Like, I get it, okay? I get it. And I want you to take in, that's great. But now what I want you to do is my husband's support, big gift of supporting, loving, abundance to grow my business. So when I started writing out a gift of this, gift of that, gift of all of a sudden, my abundance looks very effing different. Does that make sense? Now I'm really rolling because now I'm like, oh, it's not just grateful for my family, grateful for my, right. All of a sudden it takes on this whole different entity vibration of which I'm freaking deeply rich and wealthy. When I really dive into what I'm actually being given in different ways, other than just this like, right, one way that it could look and show up for me, all of a sudden I'm literally like mind blown this morning. And it's funny because it's things I know. It's not that I don't know. It's not that I haven't said thanks. It's not that I haven't like, right, I've done all those things. But somehow today, in culmination, sitting with this list, I went, holy shit, I called this in. And look at how abundance and prosperity is showing up in my life. Look at the emergence of how incredible abundance and prosperity shows up. The clients that share my stuff, the clients that share my message, there's a million ways that people are showing up the gift of visibility, the opportunities I've been granted this year, the gift of opportunity. So abundance doesn't just look like money. It doesn't just look like those kind of concrete things. All of a sudden, when you expand your vision, the abundance is everywhere. And so I want to challenge you to sit with that today, to list out gift of, gift of, gift of, gift of, get really effing clear. I mean, call in all the moments, even if they feel small. Gift of this, gift of this, gift of this, right? Then what I want you to do, with it sitting in front of you, I want you to just sit with it. I want you to go through and literally, viscerally embody the abundance of each one of those things. How do you feel? Where do you feel it? What's that like for you? I want you to really go in, oh, that's an incredible gift of connection. Wow, what's that like? Gift of healing. Wow, what's that like? Gift of time with family. Whoa, what's that like? I want you to sit in that 2 to 5 minutes. I want you to put all that stuff right in front of you. Yes, right. Yeah. Angel said, focusing on the gifts, not the lack, increases abundance in all aspects of life. Praise Jesus, mic drop. Thank you, Angel. I want to do this exercise. I want you to embody it. I want you to not just know it here, not just say the thanks. I know you feel it. I know you mean it. Gratitude's real. And then I want you to really embody it. I want you to see the way that the gifts and the abundance and the prosperity is actually flowing into you. And then what I want you to do is I want you to sit back for a minute. 2 to 5 minutes is how long I would at least. I mean, if you've got more time and you're willing to do it, do it. If you can't, just do the little part you can do, okay? Then I want you to look at this form again. I want you to rate again. When I do this form of looking at abundance and I count all the gifts I've been given and granted, and I relook at this, where does your mindset go? From scarcity to abundance. Do you move off your mark? From where you started today to where we're ending today, is it different? Is the lens different? So what I would love for you to do, and I'm asking you, right? Blow up the comments for me. Some of you already told me what abundance is. If you haven't, I would love your definition of abundance. I want you to talk about where you started in your mindset. Do you have the little voice that tells you that you're not enough to really deserve something generous? Does that happen for you? I want you to talk about where did you start on that continuum. You can do 0 to 10. It can be that continuum I drew you, which is super rough and sad looking like little goalposts, or you could do a 0 to 10. 0 is not at all. 10 is the most abundant thing ever. How do you feel about that? Between scarcity and abundance, where are you? Check in with yourself. Then I want you to do that exercise. Gift of, gift of, gift of, gift of. Then I want you to reassess. What happens? Right? You're calling it in. And Angel said it. When I focus on the gifts with literal, visceral response, I embody the gifts. I see them for what they are. Okay. That is wholly different journey. Tell me that's not different. I mean, I've done gratitude journals and I'm not ripping on anybody. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm the only one that sits on my gratitude journal, like my family, my friends, roof over my head, because those are real. And yet when I'm doing it, if I'm not really diving into what that means, I'm sort of disconnected from the actual experience of it, right? I want you to really experience it. And so that's why literally defining it out in detail, all of a sudden I go, oh my God, the gift of this, the gift of that, the gift of this, the gift of time, the gift of it, right? The gift of memories. I mean, all of a sudden you realize how deeply freaking wealthy you are and how much abundance is actually flowing into your life. And so I want you to do this as an activity of really seeing where it's showing up for you and how it's showing up for you. And I want to go all the way back to the beginning and say, you have to be so specific. Don't forget. I've gotten way better at this because I think I used to be like, I would like abundance, right? The universe is like this. What the hell does that mean? Right? Okay. We have to continue growing ourselves in this way. If we want abundance to flow in, we're going to have to be specific and ask for it. And we also have to be great when we weren't specific and it flows in and I don't want to go, no, thank you. No, do not. If you have to call somebody, you have to take a minute. I don't care what you got to do. Do not say no. Because you're going to tell the universe, the spigot of abundance and energy and prosperity, that it's no, thank you. Don't ask and then say no. Right? We would never do this. Can I have a piece of cake? No. When you bring it to me, I go, no, thanks. What? No. Right? Okay. And so Angel said, I'm in the middle right now. I feel very blessed in many aspects of my life. Yeah. And that's, I get it. I'm telling you before, and I've been working on this a lot for the last 10 days. So I'm definitely in an elevated state because I've been really focusing in on it, but I would still tell you, it shows up for me. I'm not showing up in abundance only end of the goalpost, friends. That's not, I wish I was like 10 every day, right? Susie Sunshine. And like, there's rainbow, toots coming out my rear. That's not life. I don't have rainbow Skittles, right? I'm doing the same work everybody else is doing. And some days much better than others. And that's why this is an ongoing journey. You don't do it one time, you do it multiple. And so good for you for being real about that. And then Angel, what I would say to you is when you do the journey of really listing it out, and you don't have to do it now, what happens to that marker? I want to know, because I'm willing to bet you guys it'll move. I'm willing to bet you. I don't care if it's a tenth of an inch. That shit's going to move because you just lit up what you're actually experiencing in the form of wealth and abundance. You just reminded yourself. You got real in touch with it. Like you were viscerally feeling the tears might flow, the gratitude, your heart's going to swell. I'm telling you, you're going to know it. Eat the damn cake, girl. Eat the damn cake, she says. I love it. Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Sue said, I always did the same thing. Family, health, home, friends. It became monotonous and had no genuine. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I was like, maybe I'm alone. And here's the thing, Sue, right? And I know your heart. So I know you the same way. Like we do mean it. It's not that we're not grateful, but it gets really disconnected. It gets like, oh, my home, my partners, my family, my friends, my dogs, first my connections and then my stuff, grateful for a home over my head. I'm grateful for nutritious food. I'm grateful for, whatever, the ability to move my body, to learn and grow and do the things. And I could sit and list for you. I could do a list 9 million things long. And yet somehow when we call it a gift, right? All of a sudden it changes the energy of it. Oh, that's so much bigger. Whoa. I mean, like when I listed this morning, I was just mind blown. I mean, legitimately. Look at the ways, the things that have shown up that have created this journey for you. And I want to make the connection. I'm going to make the connection to purpose in a second. Rima, what did you say? Rima said, I feel like in the middle. Yeah, I'm working toward financial abundance. I'm rich in friendship and love. Financial abundance will mean I don't have to worry about how to pay for things I want and need. Yes, absolutely. And I don't want you to lose sight of that, Rima, right? But here's what I think happens. We're also being given, I'm going to say this, we're also being given testers or not testers. It's not, so someone's going to be like, oh, Jesus is not testing us. That's not, but I think yesterday when Natalie offered me something, I was being gifted a tester. Like, what you going to do, bitch? Right? Like, you're going to say yes, or are you going to do what you always do? Is the worthiness going to come in? Is the scarcity going to come in? And are you going to get in your head, is the ego going to answer for you, or is the highest form of who you are when you know, which says a hell effing yes, who's going to speak for you? And so Rima, to me, absolutely. And I love that you would start right where most of us are comfortable in the friendship and the family, and absolutely. And do yes, yes, and yes. And financial fluidity, financial abundance is going to flow in as well. And I think that sometimes it's prepping us. I always think we're being prepared. I think every single lick of our lives, our journey is preparing us for the next thing. And so if I can say yes to mad abundance as a gift from a friend, and another mad gift from a beautiful friend in the form of energy healing, if I can receive those gifts, I'm getting ready for the download to receive something even bigger. And it doesn't mean it will always be financial. And this is what I want to say. But if I don't stop, drop, and roll right here in this minute of abundance and go, hot damn, look at how lucky I am. Gift, 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 gift. Get really real about that shit and come back and tell me you don't feel different. Because if we're only focused, Rima, right, on that financial piece, been there. Then I go, oh, shit's not really working. We can go, it's just not really working. And then I make my list of all my gifts and I go, oh, shit's overpoweringly working. It's working. It's working its way in. Okay. So this is where I want you to really expansively open up to those opportunities that are coming in for you and really seeing them for what they are and embodying it. Natalie said, I spend way too much time in scarcity's headspace. Oh my, we all do, hun. Like, same. This is the same. And here's what I'm saying. Friends, this is what I did in my journal this morning. I'm walking you through the very freaking practice I did this morning. This is not some like, heady Jen, psychological, clinical, blah, blah. Like, this is the shit I do. I just did this morning, literally. And I was like, everyone needs this. We all need the reminder. So I want you to emerge in abundance. This matters for your purpose. Here's where I want to make the connection. I'm always going to try to like bring you back. And I know sometimes I get so excited and so boxy and like, hell yes, can I get an amen? And then I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to talk about freaking purpose. Okay. I want to be able to call in abundance that elevates my alignment with my purpose. Does that make sense? I really, truly want you to be able to make the connection that when I'm abundantly open to opportunity, to new experiences, to gifts of generosity, I'm saying to the world, I am listening. I am listening in for the call to wherever it is that I'm needing to be. I'm going to work to trust the flow of abundance in my world, that I'm going to get where I need to go, that I can step into the spaces that scare the hell out of me. Your purpose will be filled with abundance. The places and spaces. So wherever I needed it, somebody showed up and brought that right and put it on my plate. This thing right here, Jen, is helping you to the next thing. This here, Jen, is helping you to the next thing. And by God, here you go, Jen. Here's another thing that's going to help you get to this thing. And I'm going, I don't know if it's showing up. What? Because I don't have my $1 million yet. It's coming and it's happening. And if I don't count that in, I'm missing the forest for the trees, friends. And so are you. And it's the same thing as saying to the universe, I'm not listening. I want abundance. What? Right? You feel that. Okay, and then what did we say here? Okay, Sue said, I love when you said, don't ask for it and then say no, right? Yeah, we seem to question everything like it's a test that we're set up to fail. It's not true. It's not. It's what we've been asking for, and it's a gift. Absolutely. So I want you to feel that. Can you feel that? Right? Thank you for saying that, Sue. And we said my spouse is full of negative. Every operating from scarcity. It's hard to stay in energy. It is. Okay, so I'm going to speak to this because you brought it up, Rima. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for being vulnerable. I'm like, if you're vulnerable here, Natalie, thank you. Angel, Sue, thank you for anyone who's being vulnerable, showing up here today, and being willing to share something that's a little, it's uncomfortable, right? And so, yeah, so here's what I'm going to say to you. We're going to be surrounded by people at times in our lives that are not going to be in this space. And this is not... Because if they haven't done the work, you don't know what you don't know. This is not me being a jerk. if you never sit with yourself and look at these things in a different way, right? And you're not practicing all the time, and you're not, taking in personal development or events or retreats or coaching or therapy, or if you're not learning them, you don't know what you don't know. This is not me picking on anybody. Okay. So if we have a spouse, a partner, someone, a friend, whatever it is, and their mindset is in scarcity. A lot of us are, let's be real, right? And so, and I can still slide into it. Natalie said it. All of us, right? We battle this out, all of us. I think this is really a truth, right? One of the reasons I talk so abundantly, excuse the cliche, I was not trying to do that at all, but like, excuse the term, right? We need to actually surround ourselves with people who hold the space for that, though. So we're super bonus blessed if a spouse, a close friend, a family member can be like, hells to the yes. And sometimes they're going to be, but, and what if, we've all been there. Oh my God. Sorry for typos. Rima, don't worry about it. No sweat. Don't worry about it. Right. So he's doing personal work at all. Yeah. Right. So yeah. And that's it, Rima. When we're growing and when we're expanding, when we're emerging, right. This is the term of the month, when we're emerging, it can be hard because somebody else might not be at the same pace as us. And so it can be, it's extra bonus hard. I'm going to be real. My husband does not sit in meditation all day like I do about these things. He's not doing that kind of, he's very intellectual. He's very smart. He's got a ginormous heart. There's lots of conversation that we have about these subjects. And because he and I are so tight, he really knows that he's receiving that the way that I intended, which is not as criticism, but like, what if we think about this? What if it feels more like this because we challenge the way that we sit in something? What does that feel like to you? Like, so he knows where I'm at because I'm always talking about this. And so I can feel, Rima, what it's like to have a partner that isn't exactly in the same state of space that we are. And so if he's my one marker that I go, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to take my significant other who is my best friend on the planet. Like, this is not a diss to him, but if I'm only going to take his one energy and he's a little scared today, because his day is not great. On another day, he would be maybe different, right? So again, this is no judgment. I better ask somebody else, right? Okay, this is the value of community. This is the value of having people in your life that say yes. This is the value of having people in your life that see your vision and share your vision and are stepping more fully into the abundant mindset. So my women that I coach, it's a hell effing yes. Does it always mean that every single thing is in place the exact way that they need it in this very moment? No, but that doesn't mean it's not still a hell yes. So it's a hell yes, and then how do we do it? Right? How do we do it? But I'm able to do this because when I'm having a minute, I have my people that I go, the abundance thing is going, right? I'm scared. I've got a big opportunity. I've got a big thing I want to bite off. Yesterday, I just bought a form of software I have been duking it out with forever. The abundance rolled in, the abundance rolled out, because I believe that that's an avenue to getting to the next thing. That was not an easy thing to push the button. Bye. Okay. Ooh. Right? And I swallowed. Trust. If that is a better avenue for teaching my courses and for connecting with my membership and my coaching clients, bring it the F on. Okay. So we need people who will sit with us. And that's where, if you are like, let me say this, I know all the time we talk like you're the culmination of the 5 people you're going to be, totally. Yes. Yes. And you can also be mindfully picking who you want. So sometimes we are around people who naturally have this capability to sit with us, and sometimes they're not there. And that's not a judgment. So if it's not accessible to us, we have to have other places to go to get that, right? That makes sense. So it's why I talk about community. It's why I really firmly believe in my coaching membership, that I'm like, where's the vision? Where's the hell yes? Where's the resource to hold that up for someone, right? Teaching that skill, having a space. I have my own network spaces I do this in. Really blessed. In the last year and a half, my network of brilliant, successful women that are yes sayers has grown in, I'm too big to count. And so I know if I'm stuck, my coaching community will say it to me. My membership will say it to me. My friends will say it to me. So someone that I know is going to hold space, because energetically, that's where they're trying to function as well. And it isn't that we don't need reality checks, my friend. I don't say yes to everything. Okay, that's not what I'm promoting today. Oh, you should say yes to everything because everything isn't going to be for you, or it isn't going to be the right time. So it's not that it's an incessant yes, right? I want to be really clear, right? Some things are going to be not now and later. And we just don't say never. We just don't say that I can't do that right now. We don't want to use that language. Just go later. This opportunity is awesome later. Okay. Rima said, I need more people like that in my life. Yeah. I don't have other friends doing this mindset abundance work, acceptance and social media. Yeah. And Rima, that's why I created the membership that I have. My community, that's what we are building. We are building the place, you build it and they will come. And I said, energetically, we're drawing in women who are no BSing. They're not catty. They're kind. They're generous. They're spiritually minded women who want to hold space for other women while they're growing themselves into their purpose. That's what we do on purpose. That community is something I crafted because I needed it. I wanted to have big philosophical conversations. I wanted to grow myself. I wanted to have places I could be really vulnerable and show up 150,000% myself. I know those are spaces where I refuel, and I wanted that for other women. And so that's what I do in my membership. And so that's where it's really important to find your whoever that looks like for you. You got to find a space to land. Okay. So important. So, okay. So that was a ton. I meant to be on here for 20 minutes. We can see how that went because that's how I roll. But I wanted to really leave this with all of you because I had such a profound experience and awakening yesterday that I feel like when something is really fresh, it's really extra powerful to kind of show up and be like, here is this exercise. Go try this on, see how it feels, see what happens for you viscerally. Share with me in the comments. What does abundance mean to you? Where were you on the scale? Do the, gift of this, then come back. Did the scale mark move? Who are you with? Who's going to hold space for you? Right? Who's going to do that? Okay. So for today, what I'm going to do, wrap up. First of all, thank you so much for being here. I'm so deeply grateful for all of the comments and the engagement, and that lights my soul on fire. It's so fun to have these conversations with people who are really here for it and want to grow and want to learn and do something different in their lives. That's really what I'm all about. So thank you so, so much. Thank you, Angel. I really appreciate that. I literally cannot tell you enough about the membership, and I'm just going to wrap up with, if you are looking for community, if you're looking for a space of sacred connection, of powerful, beautiful women that want to grow themselves, and it's a safe space to do that. I'm really mindful about the guidelines. One might say it's a little rigid about how I show up to that to protect it. I really want the energy within that space to be deeply mindful. And so if you're looking for that space, we would love to have you. We are looking for other members. We're magnetically calling them in a form of abundance because we really feel that call to support other women and share resource and network and love each other up. Today, we had a member that had an incredible big celebration because she passed a big licensing exam. And so we're celebrating her, right? That's the kind of thing that we really love, is what greatness are you doing? What's the vision? How can we hold space for that for you? Hey, I know someone. Hey, I got a thing. These women are really, they're changing my world, and they have altered the way that even I experience community. So I had a dream, and now they're taking my dream and they're amplifying that, right? So I had all the right people come in, and now they're creating this even better space that I could have only ever dreamt of. And even then it was better than what I imagined. So I would love to invite you into that membership. It's called the Rise Collective. If you want to check it out, you can go to my website at laughinglotuswellness.com, and it's /membership, and you can check it out right there. You can click on it up above and just check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, if you ever have questions, if you're hearing me speak on something and you have questions specifically, don't be afraid to DM me. Hey, I'd really like to know a little bit more about this, or this is a spot that I've got a question on. That's the kind of stuff, like I said, that lights me on fire. So please always feel free to do that as well. But I would love to invite you to come in and check out our membership. It is a really, really beautiful space, I promise. And it is mindfully held with love and light. That is the intention of every woman in there. And so I would love to invite you to come and check that out with us. If you too could use a supportive place where you're getting some coaching and also surrounded by other people working in the same way. They're going in the same direction. It's upward mobility, even if it's not the same exact journey you're having, they're going in the same direction, and they're definitely going to be there to support you. Rima, thank you so much. You know where to find me anytime. Thank you everyone so much for showing up. I can't wait to see you next week. We're going to be coming back around with a whole nother something. Thursdays live, always at noon on the dot. Come and join me, hang out, join the conversation. And please, to close up today, please share your comments. I literally would love to see you do this journey and come back and tell me how it goes. That is how I coach. You just all had coaching, right? Fire hosed you with my energy and my material. And now I want you to go in and do that work and share it with me. What was your takeaway? Right? Let me share that with you because I would love to walk that journey with you. All right, friends, until next time, this is Jen. Blessings, love, and light on your journey as you rise on your path to purpose. And we will see you next time.